Have you ever wondered what it would be like if the NBA completely restarted as we know it and we completely got an entire new NBA history? Well, now you don't even have to wonder, because that's what I'm doing in this video today. I completely reset NBA history all the way to 1959, and then I completely made my own NBA universe from 1959 all the way into 2024 and years past. I'm talking I changed the rules, I changed the salary cap. Whatever you want to happen in this NBA universe is going to happen. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so first, here is what's going to go down in my new NBA universe. We are going to change a couple rules. Number one, players as soon as they graduate high school or turn 18 are eligible for the draft. There's no more 1 year. We're going to have people coming from high school. That's going to be what it's going to be, man. Number two, we have no salary cap. Teams will be able to spend as much as they want. Number three, no more players will foul out. There is going to be no foul outs. You can foul as many times as you want in this new era of NBA basketball. Number four, the shot clock is only going to be 20 seconds, so there's going to be a lot of fast pace. That's how I want it to be. And our final rule, the worst team in the league will get a 25% chance at the number one pick in order to make it fair. So first, we're just going to do a fantasy draft. Everybody's already 40 overall and 40, so they all retire, and then we can immediately start with the 1959 NBA draft class who has Wilt Chamberlain. That's where we're going to start. So instead of just doing one 1959 draft class, we took every star player that was from 1954 to 1959 in order to get all of the big time players into the league to make it fair. Obviously, back when they were drafting, there was 8 teams and there was like 7 rounds of the draft. We don't have that anymore. We are going to make it so there are no longer any injuries. We don't want any injuries. What if D Rose never got hurt? What if all these guys never got hurt? Brandon Roy, all these guys, there are no injuries. Because of that, we will see the best players play as long as they possibly can. And the final thing that I'm going to do is I'm putting possessions per game on 100. We are going to have insanely fast-paced basketball, and I'm excited to see what happens. Everybody is as low as they possibly can, and they're 40 overall. That makes it so everyone's going to retire, and then that 1954 to 1959 draft class will then end up coming in, and that'll make it so we completely restart NBA history. So right now, we're just going to sim through the entire regular season. I can't really do anything else. I'll see you guys at the end of the regular season. We'll sim the playoffs, and then we will start our new NBA universe. So at the end of this first year, whatever, we'll call it that, Clint Capella is the MVP. Trace Jackson Davis was Rookie of the Year. Kevin Love was Sixth Man of the Year. The Defensive Player of the Year was JaVale McGee. Alperen Sengun was the MIP. Kevin Durant was a Clutch Player of the Year. Darvin Ham was Coach of the Year. And JT Brooks was Executive of the Year. Obviously, we made it so it's a complete fantasy draft, so nothing really happens. We're going to go through these playoffs, and then we'll actually be able to start this entire season. And in the finals, the Atlanta Hawks win a championship behind finals MVP Mitchell Robinson. So we're going into next year, and you can see everybody's retiring. We're going to let everyone retire because they will be back. And now we are on to the draft lottery, where the worst team of last year was the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Celtics are in there, the Spurs are in there. One thing to look out for is the Thunder. They have a ton of first-round picks because they have all these first-round picks. This is basically the draft capital from today. And let's see, who wins the lottery? And the Utah Jazz, the Pelicans fell to 5th? Oh, that's so tough. That is so tough. And we know all the stars of the old days are going to be in here. You got Bob Pettit. You got, obviously, Wilt Chamberlain. You got Bill Russell. All these people are now up for grabs, and the Pelicans may not get anybody. Now it's time for the NBA draft, and the first person off the clock is going to be Bill Russell to the Utah Jazz. The Warriors select Elgin Baylor. The Nuggets select Richie Guerin. Forgot he was in here. The Kings select Sam Jones. Wilt Chamberlain still hasn't gone. Maurice Stokes. Wilt Chamberlain still has not been drafted. When is Wilt Chamberlain? He got drafted to the Knicks. The Celtics, they now draft Bob Pettit. All right, so Wilt Chamberlain fell like crazy in this draft. I don't know how. Bill Russell is an 85. Wilt Chamberlain is also an 85. Anybody else crazy that fell? Casey Jones, obviously. Hal Greer. He fell. He's a scorer. We're going into the next year, and obviously the number one player in the league is Bill Russell. It's going to be him and Wilt Chamberlain. And obviously, this is going to be a little bit different because Bill Russell's a little younger than Wilt Chamberlain, but we can't really do much about that. So a look at the league going into this year. Bill Russell's the top of the league. He's 22. Wilt Chamberlain's 21. We have a lot of 22 and 21-year-olds because back then you'd go to 4 years of school and then you'd go in. Elgin Baylor's probably going to be the top scorer. He went to the Warriors. These guys are on some massive deals, right? The salary cap is off. Like I said, I can't change anything with free agency. I'm not going to. So we'll look at these guys, and we are going to shadow the Knicks this season because I want to see how many points they truly can get. And if you look at this, Wilt Chamberlain is on a team with a ton of 40 overalls. He possibly may break his record. So let's go. Let's look at the first game, see what happens. And 152 to 148, Wilt Chamberlain had 67 points. And you know what's crazy is that this is an average Wilt Chamberlain stat line. In the real days of the NBA, this was an average stat line. See the second game, 166 to 34. So the teams that did not get a good draft pick or did not have a draft pick, like the Nets, they're not going to be good. Wilt Chamberlain had 61 rebounds. That's a single game record. So we're going to sim to the All-Star break, and we're going to see kind of what's shaking up around the league. So now we're at the All-Star break. Let's take a look at the stats, the player stats, the league leaders of points. Wilt Chamberlain is leading the league. He has 41.6 per game. Willie Knowles is behind him at 39.9 a game. Elgin Baylor, 39.6. Bailey Howell's at 38.1. And I'm just guessing if I go to rebounds here, Bill Russell's going to show up. And he is. He's averaging 57.7 rebounds a game. And how many blocks per game? He's averaging 4.7. And he's averaging steals. All right, let's go to... I want to see 3 points. Who's making the most 3-pointers in the game? Bob Pettit is a sniper. He's shooting 44% from 3. They didn't even have a 3-point line when bro was here. It's ridiculous. But he's shooting awful from the line. Like, absolutely awful. So you see that. We got people stroking that thing. Pause. 40 and 14 at the All-Star break is good for 7th in the East. Okay. Prospect scouting. Let's see who we got coming into the league next. We got Oscar Robertson, Jerry West. We have Tom Sanders. He's coming in. Lenny Wilkins is right there. So we got some guys coming in. Maybe Jerry West gets paired up, but I'm not sure because the Knicks are cooking. Let's look, see who made the All-Star teams. Usually it's just going to be the top scorers make the All-Star. So we got Wilt Chamberlain. He made it. Bailey Howell, Bob Boozer, Cy Green, Bob Pettit made it. Bill Russell, he obviously made it. He's already in 87. Elgin Baylor, Willie Knowles, Dick Barnett made it. So we got some guys. So let's sim to the end of the regular season and see who's going to be the MVP of our first ever season in this NBA universe. At the end of our first ever season of the NBA universe, Bill Russell won the MVP, averaging 25.6, 51 rebounds a game, 6.4 assists, 2.1 steals, 4.7 blocks. He probably won another DPOI. He probably won one. But let's go see. What did he get so far? Willie Knowles had 75 points in the game. Bob Pettit made 11 threes. Richie Guerin shot 32 free throws. Bob Boozer had 157 rebounds in a game. 157. 106 offensive boards. He's just destroying it. He's destroying. Bill Russell had 11 blocks in the game. We may end up setting every record in NBA history. Rookie of the year, obviously, Bill Russell. Russ Montgomery was 6th man of the year. Bill Russell, defensive player of the year. Lamar Stevens was the MIP. Shout out to the Penn State legend. Red Kerr was the clutch player of the year. Coach of the year was Nick Nurse with the Sixers, and JT Brooks was executive of the year. Bill Russell, Willie Knowles, Bob Boozer. I mean, it's not great, but he just snags boards. Wilt Chamberlain, Bailey Howell, Maurice Stokes, Elgin Baylor, Sam Jones made it, Richie Guerin, Adrian Smith. Yeah, so we got some AIs in here. So we knew that was going to happen. You know, that's how it goes. But we're not going to look at any of these. We have about 80 seasons of basketball to get through. So we're going to wait until we get to the conference finals to start looking at the teams we're matching up. Elgin Baylor, Western Conference Finals MVP. Larry Costello, ECF MVP. It's the Warriors versus the Sixers. Let's see, we have Tommy Hizon on the 76ers with a lot of AIs. Then you have Elgin Baylor on the Golden State Warriors. He's cooking. I'm going to say that both these teams ran through everybody except round 1 where they almost got beat by Wilt Chamberlain. The Warriors have lost 0 games. I'm just going to say the Warriors win it. Let's see. And they do. Warriors win it. Elgin Baylor, 42 points per game. Putting up insane numbers. He's better than everybody else in the league. So at the end of year 1, the Warriors have won. Look at player retirements. Udonis Haslem finally retires after 22 years in the league. Everyone else is retiring. Staff retirements. Greg Popovich retires. And that's about it. Jersey retirements, Kyle Lowry, Klay Thompson, Jokic, Giannis. And going into the draft lottery, the team that has the #1 odds is the Clippers and the Rockets. It looks like they tied. So who's going to get their first pick of Oscar Robertson or Jerry West? And the Jazz get it. That's right, they have all those Timberwolves draft pick from the Rudy Gobert trade. Oh my gosh. So that means that they're going to be able to pair up Jerry West or Oscar Robertson with Bill Russell. And they didn't even win last year. But now they're going to 100% be. And with the first pick in the draft, the Utah Jazz, who do they select? Who is Calbert Hilliard? Bro, that might have been a generational fumble. Oscar Robertson goes to the Pistons. Hugh Gooden. The Rockets get Jerry West. This draft class is from 2K itself. Where is Lenny Wilkins? Tom Sanders, there he is. Lenny Wilkins got drafted. Okay. The Jazz just had the biggest fumble in history. There's no possible way. They just passed up 84 overall. Oscar Robertson, who they pass him up for? Like, what does this guy do? For a 6'10 potato, he has no badges. Oscar Robertson has 18 badges. You know what? It makes the league more competitive. I'm telling you guys, I cannot. I'm at a loss of words. Because I know I'm the GM, basically, but the assistant GM, whoever's making this decision, needs to be fired. Plain and simple. That was ridiculous. And now in our second season, the Warriors look to repeat. And just looking at the players, Bill Russell, he's here. Wilt Chamberlain, he's here. Elgin Baylor. Oh my gosh. But the fumble of the century. The Utah Jazz had the #1 overall pick. And they didn't pick Oscar Robertson. Instead, they picked some 6'10 dude. They don't have a guard. Hot Rod Hundley. Hang on, they kind of have a squad. What? You know what? We're going to be shadowing the Jazz this time. Because I want to see what exactly they were cooking. In their first game, they win. And Bill Russell had 28 boards. Hot Rod Hundley. Maybe I wasn't familiar with your game. What's his stats looking like? He has 38 badges. Never mind. Dude's a sniper. Maybe I was unfamiliar with your game, but still, passing on Oscar Robertson is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. They win their second game. Their rookie that they just drafted, he got 7. Okay, you know what? It is what it is. We're going to go to the All-Star break. We're going to go to the All-Star break and then kind of see what's going on, because there's no way that they're going to fumble Oscar Robertson with no repercussions, because that is ridiculous. And we're here at the All-Star break, so let's look at some stats, shall we? Let's look at some stats, see who's cooking. The leading scorer, once again, Wilt Chamberlain. You know, he's obviously cooking. He's Wilt Chamberlain. Rebounds is Sebastian Joseph, a 69 overall. Is it just because he's the only decent player on his team? It has to be. Because the Timberwolves have no draft picks. But that will help him in the future. Elgin Baylor's second. Where's Bill Russell? There he's at. He is third. Assists per game. Who's cooking an assist per game? Obviously, Oscar Robertson's already averaging a triple-double. See, I knew it would come back to bite him. I knew it would. Steals. I'm guessing Jerry West is up there. He isn't. He is not. It's Jim Paxson Sr. Blocks. Wilt Chamberlain. Bill Russell. Who's turning the ball over, though? Don Ull. Come on, Don. Gotta be better than that. 3 points made. Five threes a game by Bob Pettit. Hal Greer, obviously a great scorer. He's averaging 31. But they passed up on Oscar Robertson. And he's obviously going to be an all-star. He might win MVP his first year. Actually, let's see. Okay, he's not in the race. I thought he was. Rookie of the year, Oscar Robertson by far. Jerry West is out in Houston doing something. Bill Russell is leading DPOY, MIP. Who cares? Clutch players, Hugh Gooden with the Rockets. Whatever. We're going to sim to the end of the season. Actually, let's check the standings. Let's see what players we got coming in. Prospect scouting, Connie Hawkins. Just looking at the entire league, like we're starting to get a good league now, finally. Bill Russell, 92. We could have had him and Oscar Robertson paired together. And the Jazz selfishly robbed us of that, which I will not forget. If they don't win a ring, I will not let them forget that. Because they could have had a dynasty. They could have been what the Celtics were in this universe, and they decided to not draft Oscar Robertson. And at the end of our second year, Wilt Chamberlain wins an MVP. He's averaging 36.6, 20.4. He's balling. Let's see who did anything crazy in the league. Hugh Gooden had 66. Other than that, there's nothing insanely crazy. Just like a usual NBA season, Sebastian Joseph had 47 boards. Oscar Robertson had 22 assists. Scott Skiles' record might fall. And other than that, there's nothing crazy. Oscar Robertson, obviously, Rookie of the Year, averaging a 31-point triple-double on great shooting. Russ Montgomery was 6th Man of the Year. Bill Russell was DPOY. That's his second. Paul Bailey was the MIP. Sam Jones was the Clutch Player of the Year with the Kings. Tom Thibodeau was Coach of the Year with the Knicks. And Wilt Chamberlain went 76-6. First team All-NBA is Wilt, Bill Russell. Oscar Robertson is a rookie. Once again, Utah, what are you guys doing? Bob Pettit's there, Elgin Baylor's there. It's pretty much a repeat of last year. Bob Boozer, the guy who grabbed 157 rebounds in a game, right? And all defensive teams, I don't really care. But looking at it, the Knicks are the 1 seed. Pelicans on the other side are the other 1 seed. Who do the Pelicans have again? Let me check. Who do the Pelicans have? They're going against Sam Jones. Pelicans have... yeah, they don't have anybody. They just have a ton of good AIs. But the good AIs usually get smacked by the real players. So let's go to the conference finals and see. In the conference finals, you have the Rockets and Jerry West and the Bulls and the Knicks. Jerry West is 84. I didn't see him. He wasn't even cooking. But maybe he just turns it on in the playoffs. I mean, we know that his playoff history is good. Not his finals history, but his playoff history. Then you have the Bulls against the Knicks. And that is just Wilt Chamberlain versus AIs. Now, obviously, a lot of people are probably watching this video questioning why I have so many AIs. There was 8 teams in the league back in like 1960. What else can I do? I'm not going to take away teams, so we're just going to let it rock because the AIs will end up getting phased out when the real players come in like 20 years. But before that happens, I don't really care. The Bulls get eliminated by the Knicks, and the Rockets lose in 6. Tom Gola for the Pelicans, Wilt Chamberlain for the Knicks. And can the Knicks get their first ring of this universe? They cannot. The New Orleans Pelicans, despite Wilt Chamberlain winning the Finals MVP, have won the Finals. Tom Gola, this guy's just a dog, I guess. Round 1, pick 28. Insane good value pick, I guess. And the draft lottery to see who can get the number 1 overall pick. Once again, the Utah Jazz. And they fell to 3. So the Wizards have the number 1. The Grizzlies have the number 2. The Jazz had everything that they wanted in the bag. All they needed to do was draft a first-team 30-point triple-double averaging Oscar Robertson. And they didn't do that. Washington Wizards are on the clock. Obviously, the pick should be Connie Hawkins. And it is. Only thing about Connie Hawkins is he's 28 years old. So let's see who the Jazz select. Frederick Battle, a 6'3 guard from Duquesne. Is what it is. Let's see. Let's kind of look at everybody's overalls. Draft is over. Connie Hawkins is a 92, but he's also 28 years old. Frederick Battle is a shooting guard. What does he shoot? He has 3 badges. Shot tendency is 80. He can score. He has some pretty good stats. That's not a bad pick at all. So a lot of these I'm getting through the 2K community, so people might slip themselves in here and there. It is what it is. I'm not going to really stress about it because at the end of the day, it's an NBA universe, so whatever happens, happens. Now going into year 3, let's take a look at the players that are in the league. Bill Russell's top of the league. He's 93. But Connie Hawkins and the Washington Wizards, they're not going to be a contender. But these contracts are ridiculous. Elgin Baylor's on a 4-year, and he went to the Rockets, so now he's with Jerry West? He is. That's right, we have people starting to move around in free agency. That's big time. Sam Jones went to the Lakers. Tom Hizon, Bob Pettit, he's still 1 year left with the Celtics. Connie Hawkins with the Wizards. Any other crazy moves? No, but, I mean, the Jazz are loaded with talent. Obviously, they could have had a better pick, but doesn't look like they're going to do it. So they're good. I mean, the Jazz should be favorites to win it all this year. But the Rockets have a very good backcourt. So that's who we're going to look at today. Let's go look at the Rockets roster. 92, Elgin Baylor. 88, Jerry West. They both can shoot. They both can score. Jerry West can pass the ball. I'll be shocked. I'll be really shocked if they don't go far in the playoffs again, because they went to the Western Conference Finals last year, so We'll see how it's going, but just looking at it right now, they're tearing everybody apart. Let's look at this against the Jazz. Where is Bill Russell? Is he not on the team anymore? Where did Bill Russell go? Elgin Baylor scoring 40. Where is Bill Russell? He went to the Bulls. Okay. So Bill Russell's on the Bulls now. Let's see what team he's on, what that's looking like. Who's he on? Because I know there's another player on the Bulls. Larry Costello. Okay, so he went to a worse team. He probably was fed up that the front office did not draft Oscar Robertson. I would do the same thing. We're going to go to the All-Star. We're going to go to the All-Star break, and we're going to kind of see what's going on. Because, not going to lie, the Rockets look good. They look very good. They still have not lost. And here at the All-Star break, the Rockets are 51-5, and that is good for number one in the West. Obviously, on their trading block, they are targeting people still. They have Jerry West on there for some reason. I don't know why. But are they trying to build a super team? The salary cap's off, and I can't change anything, right? I can't do anything. I'm only an observer. I only run the sim. But it looks like the Rockets GM is cooking. And did Will Chamberlain re-sign a deal with the Knicks? That's what I'm looking for. Did he? He didn't. He's in his last year of his deal. He's a 95 overall. And let's look at the league leaders. The points per game leader is Michael Christie, it looks like. Averaging 36.6. The rebounds leader is Bill Russell, 24.1. He's back up top. Bob Boozer is shortly behind. The assist leader is K.C. Jones. Oscar Robertson is all the way down there. Steals leader is Adrian Smith. K.C. Jones is there. Jerry West is starting to climb up the ranks a little bit. 2.3 obviously is not bad at all. The blocks per game leader is once again Bill Russell. Will Chamberlain's still right there. But where's Oscar Robertson? What's he averaging? 33, or he's averaging 34, 9, 9.4. So his averages went down a little bit. But I want to see what Connie Hawkins is doing. Where's he at? There he is. He's averaging 26 and 14.3 with solid defense. Okay. It's not bad. Is Bob Pettit still number one in three-pointers? He is not. J.C. Ray has came in. Hal Greer has ended up knocking him off barely. He's with the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are not that good. But Bob Pettit's in his last year with the Celtics. We'll see a lot of movement. All-Star games, I don't really care about All-Star games. If you guys want me to start incorporating that more, I could, but I just feel like that's iffy, you know? The Wizards are 25-29. The Sixers are atop the East. They have Tom Hizon. They have a squad. The Sixers have a squad. Pelicans won the last year. So it's going to be interesting to see if Will Chamberlain, can he repeat? Will Oscar Robertson grab an MVP? Will one of the Rockets end up doing something? Who knows? And at the end of year 3, Bill Russell has once again snagged an MVP. That's his second MVP, averaging 20, 20, and 8. 4 blocks a game. Cooking. Rookie of the year was Connie Hawkins, who may have led the Wizards to the playoffs. They picked it up down the back stretch of the year. He's a good scorer. Nothing crazy happened in the history of the NBA so far. 21 assists, 10 blocks, nothing crazy. We're starting to balance out and have actual, realistic box scores. Cy Green was 6th man of the year. Bill Russell was DPOY once again. That's his 3rd. Victor Paxson was MIP. Bob Pettit was clutch player of the year. Doesn't look like he did. Ime Udoka was coach of the year. The Rockets went 74-8. That's the tandem of West and Baylor. Deion Bender, obviously. Bill Russell, first team. Will Chamberlain, first team. Elgin Baylor, first team. It's the usual, except someone snuck in Adrian Smith. Second team, you have Lenny Wilkins. He fell so far in the draft. Oscar Robertson, obviously. Bob Boozer, Michael Christie. Connie Hawkins as a rookie. That's big time. He's been carrying. And you have Jerry West isn't on any of these, but Sam Jones on the Lakers now, Bailey Howell on the Raptors, Tommy Hizon, he's on the Sixers. They were the number ones in the East, and they are going to be the number 2 seed because Wilt Chamberlain and the Knicks are the 1 seed. And on the West side, we have the Rockets versus the Thunder. That is Jerry West and Elgin Baylor versus Hugh Gooden, and that's about it. Going over to the Knicks, who are up 1-0 on the Sixers. The Rockets won there. You have Wilt Chamberlain against Tom Hizon, and that's about that right there. Like I said, the AIs are going to be pretty plenty until we get deeper into the simulation. But let's see. Do we get Jerry West? We do. They both sweep their competition. Elgin Baylor averaged a 48-point triple-double. Wilt Chamberlain, his averages are good, but what's crazy is that this would be one of the worst seasons of Wilt Chamberlain's career. That's what's crazy. And you have the Knicks at the Rockets. Jerry West and Elgin Baylor going against Wilt Chamberlain and Don Ole. And it's hard to believe, but it's going to be crazy because no one can guard Wilt Chamberlain. I think I might take the Knicks here. And I was wrong. The Rockets won behind Elgin Baylor, averaging 40, 15, and 8. 2 steals, 1 block a game, shooting 55% from 3. He may end up becoming the GOAT. Going into the draft lottery, who would get the first pick? It's going to be the Jazz. Once again, they got that from the Donovan Mitchell trade. So the Jazz, they've had all the tools that they needed to make a dynasty, but instead they let Bill Russell walk and didn't draft Oscar Robertson, and they are suffering because of it. Let's go to the draft and see who they draft. They have the first overall pick once again. Who are they going to draft? They draft John Havlicek. They got it right. They finally got it right. The Warriors, they draft Jerry Lucas. The Rockets draft Dave DeBusschere. Now that's a squad. The Rockets are a squad. That's probably from the Harden trade. You can see here Havlicek, he's 22. He's the best player in this draft class. They got it right. Jerry Lucas is going to help the Warriors. And the Rockets with Dave DeBusschere, they needed a big man. They got a big man. The Rockets are going to be scary. They could possibly repeat this season. No one's repeated in this simulation yet, but if anyone's going to, it's going to be the Rockets. There's a lot of free agents that are going to be up on their contracts. I'm excited to see where they go as we go into year 4 of the simulation. And going into the 4th year of the sim, we're obviously going to shadow the champion Rockets. I just want to see, did they keep everybody? Because I know Elgin Baylor was up for a contract. They got Wilt Chamberlain. They got Elgin Baylor. But Jerry West left. But will it even matter? Dude, the ring chasing is crazy. Let's see all the players, but I mean, Wilt Chamberlain, they have the top 2 players in the league together. Oscar Robertson, he went to the Sixers with Tom Hizon. He did not go to the Sixers. West and Robertson teamed up on the Sixers. Tommy Hizon is on the Celtics. Is Bob Pettit still on the Celtics? He is. Bill Russell's still on the Bulls. Connie Hawkins is still on the Wizards. This is going to be big. Bob Pettit and Tom Hizon, 2 scorers. Hal Greer, he's on the Timberwolves. Sam Jones is on the Lakers. Hugh Gooden's on the Sixers. He's going to be on the Sixers with Jerry West and Oscar Robertson. That's 3 point guards. I don't know how that's going to work, but it will. But other than that, let's see. Bob Boozer, he's on the Thunder. Tom Sanders is on the Bulls now. So we got some guys, and it looks like the Jazz completely fumbled everything. The Jazz have completely fumbled everything, but the Rockets now have the best scorer in the league with the best big man in the league. And it's looking scary because the Spurs are nothing to sniff at, but no one's going to be able to stop these guys. No one is going to be able to stop these guys. So we're going to simulate to the All-Star break, and we're going to see if anybody can possibly stop the Houston Rockets. And at the All-Star break, the Rockets are 54-1 with their 1 loss coming to the Boston Celtics, who have Tom Hizon and Bob Pettit. Elgin Baylor is probably going to be the MVP this year. Let's go. Let's see the league leaders, see what everything's about right now. Let's look at the standings. And the Rockets are atop the standings. The Lakers are 50-4. The Rockets are 54-1. Going to the East, the Celtics are also 50-4. 76ers are 46-9. The Bulls are still there. The Knicks, even though they lost Chamberlain, are not so far out of it. The Wizards are there with Connie Hawkins. But, dude, the Rockets are probably going to break the record. Let's see the stats. See the league leaders. What's going on here? Sam Jones is the NBA scoring leader right now, scoring 35.7 a game. Dick Barnett's right there. Hal Greer, he's been consistent. He's on the Timberwolves. He doesn't really have anybody else there. Wilt Chamberlain obviously is there. Elgin Baylor's also there. But rebounds, J.C. Hood. Assists is Oscar Robertson. Jerry West is also there. And Lenny Wilkins is there with the Nets. Elgin Baylor's there. I want to see what the Sixers are up to because they have 3 point guards. I don't know what they're cooking, but their perimeter defense seems to be working. Wilt Chamberlain has overtaken Bill Russell. Maybe Wilt Chamberlain. His stats do look better. Maybe Wilt Chamberlain is going to get a DPOY this year. 3-pointers made per game. Hal Greer has 6.1. He's just chucking shots. Let's see what kind of tendencies. 85 shot tendencies. So he's chucking. He's chucking shots, but that's what he needs to do. And despite that, man, Timberwolves still are not here. And I also forgot they have Dave DeBusschere as well. So the Rockets are 27-0 at home, and they're just destroying everyone. They're scoring 164.6 points per game. Absolute madness. We're going to sim to the end of the season. Maybe Elgin Baylor gets the MVP. But regardless, I want to see if the Rockets will at some point go 82-0. Because that would be crazy enough as it is. And at the end of year 4, Wilt Chamberlain has another MVP. I'm thinking that's his second. And yeah, the Rockets went 80-2. They went 80-2. They probably won't be beat. Jerry Lucas was Rookie of the Year in Golden State. Hugh Gooden was Sixth Man of the Year. Wilt Chamberlain overtook Bill Russell. He has a DPOY. He's probably in the lead for the GOAT debate now. Probably in the lead for the GOAT debate. Deion Barrett was the MIP. Hal Greer was Clutch Player of the Year. He's out there in Minnesota with no help though. Absolutely no help. Game highs. He had 56 in the game, but there's nothing crazy going on. 32 boards, 22 assists, steals, blocks. We're starting to gain a balance in the NBA. Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, two players on All-NBA first team. Bob Pettit, he's here. Bill Russell's still here. Bob Boozer's here. And the Sixers, Oscar Robertson's here. Connie Hawkins is here for the second straight year. Sam Jones is here. Dick Barnett, Christie, and Tom Hizon. So I'm wondering who in the East is going to give anybody trouble. I don't think anybody will. I don't think anyone's beating the Rockets. We're just going to simulate this full playoffs because I'm just telling you right now, the Rockets probably aren't going to lose. They probably won't lose a playoff game at all. I don't see them doing that. And that's a sweep for them. Hang on, the Celtics, they might give them a little bit of trouble. And the Celtics come back from 3-1 on the Sixers. Elgin Baylor is the Finals MVP. Bob Pettit. Just taking a look at these teams, you can see right here. Hang on now. Bob Pettit's at center. Usually he's at power forward. He's guarding Wilt Chamberlain. This is the first one we're just going to sim a game and see. I feel like this could possibly be a close game. Maybe not. Rockets win by 19. Celtics, they got a game. They won by 9. They just play good team basketball, and the Rockets is just like Wilt and Elgin. Rockets up 2-1, up 3-1, and for the win, the Rockets, they won. They lost 3 total games, that's it. Elgin Baylor, Finals MVP, that bolsters his record. He averaged almost a 30-point triple-double again in the finals. That's the Rockets' second ring. They just went back-to-back. You see all the retirees. And going into the draft lottery, the Nets, via the Phoenix Suns and the Kevin Durant trade, they have the #1 pick. The Pistons, they have the 2. Magic have the 3. Let's see, who are we going to get in this draft? Because it's not looking like the Rockets are going to be bounced anytime soon. And especially with no salary cap, it's looking pretty scary for the league. The Nets, they pick Nate Thurmond from Bowling Green. The Pistons get Bernard Morgan. And now we just get all the AIs. Is what it is. But Nate Thurmond is an absolute beast in this game. That is true. He has a 92 overall. They pair him with Lenny Wilkins. Is Lenny Wilkins still there? I don't know. We're going to be going into our 5th season. And we got some people that might move around in free agency, might not. But that all depends because now we are going into our 5th season of our NBA universe. So I just got done editing year 4 of The Sim, which is actually year 5. And I'm going to cut it here because the video is already insanely long. Let me know if you guys would rather have 5 years or 10 years in a video. I'm cool with doing 10, but just for time's sake and because I'm in my finals this week, I want to make sure I can get a video out to you guys, not have to hold on to this for 2 more weeks because it's about to be spring break and I'm going to be going home. A question that I do have for you guys is, would you rather have it in 5 years or 10 years for each video? If it's 10 years, I'm going to shorten each year by a little bit just to kind of make it not so long. Pause. But whatever you guys want to do, just let me know. I have nothing else for you guys. Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day or night whenever you're watching this. And most importantly, God bless.